Hello everyone, welcome back. This is part 3 of my home buying series where I go into detail each step of the home buying process that I have experienced myself as an agent and as a first-time home buyer. So in today's video, we're going to talk about submitting an offer. This comes after the pre-qualification, after the pre-approval, and then after you have created your list of non-negotiables and you found the home that fits your needs and your budget. Submitting an offer is not as scary as it sounds. A lot of people like to get caught up on this step, but I promise you this is probably going to be the easiest part of the process. Is just submitting an offer. You want to talk with your agent about what number seems right to submit, because at the end of the day, you want to make it attractive, especially if this is a home that you really like. And so in order to do this, you want to have your agent pull a few comps, and they'll know to do this if they're a good agent, and basically say, okay, based on the market, based on the price of this home, based on the appraisal value, and based on how hot or cold things are right now, I'll give you a recommendation. Obviously, this is completely up to you. You also have to keep in mind that pre-qualification number that you were given from the bank, because you can't necessarily go over that, because a seller and their agent will not even accept that offer if you weren't even pre-qualified to bid that much. When I say this depends on how the market is, hot or cold, hot meaning that a lot of sellers are receiving bids way over asking and it's a very competitive market. Cold meaning that there's a lot of homes for sale and a seller can get lucky if they even get an offer on their property that is at asking. Hot, you may have to come in above asking. Cold, you will come in below asking or at asking, depending on how badly you want the property. And your agent should be able to talk about this with you when submitting this offer. So you found your beautiful home. Now it's time to say, okay, let's lock it in. And really all it requires for you is to determine what number you would like to offer. If you'd like to offer any special contingencies, such as a 7-day due diligence instead of 10, due diligence is just your inspection period, or a 21-day closing versus 30, and this is something that you and your lender would speak about, so do not offer a 21-day closing if your lender does not offer that for your specific loan type. I don't recommend doing this if you plan on getting an FHA or a conventional loan, because those are typically on the bank's time and not your time. Another thing that's really cool that I like to do when I submit offers is I like to come in a little bit above asking and ask the seller to pay closing costs. So that way at the closing table, it is essentially less than what I anticipated going into. Then I just roll everything into the loan itself, and this equates to about an extra 20 to 40 bucks a month on my mortgage payment or whatever the monthly payment is. And so at the end of the day, it's less money down on the table, and it's a little bit more month to month, but over the course of the mortgage, it spreads out pretty nicely. This is a great option for people who kind of want to come to closing with as little money down as possible, just to kind of save up for other things that they may need when purchasing a home. So once you've decided the contingencies that you want to have on this offer, you will communicate that to your agent, and your agent will write up an offer for you. Typically, they will have their own contracts through their brokerage or through whatever system they use, but the contracts will come from your agent. Your agent will send it over to you for an electronic signature, and you will sign this document. It's up to the agent to send this offer over to the seller's agent so that the seller's agent can present this offer to their seller for acceptance or denial. Let's say your offer gets denied upfront, and the seller comes back and says, hey, I have a few offers on the table. You came in, a little below what I am getting offers for. So can you either match or can you come up highest and best offer, essentially? At this point, you and your agent will discuss whether or not this is something that you're even interested in. If you really want and it fits everything on your must-haves list, I would definitely recommend finding creative ways to negotiate with the seller. And again, this is where that piece of coming in above asking would come in handy. So let's say that didn't work, and the seller is not budging, and the seller is like, I want you to come in 20 above asking, or something crazy like this. Well, first of all, I'm sorry to say, but this may not be the property for you, because if you came into this with an understanding of what you wanted and you left out with something way more than what you expected, at the end of the day, you're not going to be happy with the purchase. So it's back to the drawing board, or maybe you had a few other homes on your list that you wanted to submit offers for. Go back to those options, and chances are that the sellers of those properties will help you out. Now, let's say your first offer that you submit gets accepted. Well, congratulations. The next steps are for the seller and the seller's agent to sign this document, and you have now entered into a binding document. This is where you start shopping around for inspectors, and I'm going to get into the inspection process in so much detail because of how important this piece of the process is. However, the clock starts ticking once this document is signed by both you and the seller and your agent and the seller's agent. So keep that in mind and be ready for what's to come, because this was the easy part. I hope this video was really helpful to you or someone you might know who's looking to purchase a home. If you guys have any questions, be sure to comment down below and I'll be sure to help you guys out any way that I can. In later videos, I will go into detail into the next parts of the home buying process, so be sure to stay tuned.